Hi guys.
You know, Alan, we missed out on some information from these journals, and if you look at my comments, like we should have read some of this stuff last week.
Oh dear.
At least we won't get eaten by the fish people because this cult doesn't seem to be connected with them, which is kind of great. But did we know what did we do with the stone?
Right, yes. The one thing I wanted to say out was you had the stone, Finlay.
Yeah, I still
you,
have it in my possession, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and you took a rubbing of it, which you took with you. But did you leave the stone in Edinburgh, or do you have it with you?
I would have thought we had it with us.
Okay, so are you carrying it about in a satchel? Did you leave it in a bedroom, or is it on the ship?
I feel as if it was on the ship, but that's just...
Well, Finlay's the one carrying it. It's what Finlay did with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd probably left it in the ship rather than bring it into the mansion because we didn't know what we were getting into.
Okay, and you chartered the boat, but I don't think any of you knew how to sail. So I'm assuming you either have a skipper who's waiting on the boat, who maybe slept in one of the other cottages, or did you just get dropped off and then you're getting picked up again?
I would say skipper, would you?
Yeah, I think that makes more sense, yeah.
Alright. Right, okay, so there's a skipper, and he'll just stayed in one of the cottages, because there's lots of them kind of scattered around the bothies. And that's kind of their purpose. So after he's went to the cave, you found this person, you've restrained them with string and rope. You put them back in the car, and you guys, along with the man who you now know is called Robert, came back to the castle. Schiann is going to volunteer to keep watch on the man. He's going to take him down to the cottage, which was Robert's cottage. He's going to tie him up in there, and he's going to sit inside the cottage with him, just to keep an eye on him. Which leaves you two free, and you were going to, I believe, call the police. And you are yet to speak to Mrs. McCrimmon, who was left at the castle. So we'll take it from there. So we'll just want to do.
I feel like Mrs. McCrimmon was involved in it and somehow, but I think we should phone the police first, then chat amongst ourselves.
Yeah, that's fair. We don't necessarily need to tell Mrs. McCrimmon everything. I mean, we can just say that we've because she can't see what state the guy's in. So I mean, we could just say that we've got the culprit and we'd like to call the police in.
So
yeah, I think.
Okay, so you approach the castle, and she's still in there. She's had the doors locked. She sees you coming. She unlocks the front door and comes out to greet you. And you are standing there, and you have the guy, Robert, who is known before as Isaac. And she'll come out, worried look in her face. Did you find anyone? Like, what happened?
Could we maybe use your phone just now, and then we'll talk about this later?
I suppose. Mr. Hart, are you okay? What happened to Charlie? He gives a rather uncommitted grunt to her and just kind of walks past her into the castle. She looks at you sort of imploringly, Finlay. Where's your friend? Mr. Schiann Doyle.
He's apprehending he's staying with the suspect at the moment. We feel we need to keep him under watch for the time being. I'm afraid we regrettably have to inform you that Charlie didn't make it. He's become another victim to this man.
Oh my lord, and who is this man?
We don't know as yet. We'd like to call the proper authorities to come and deal with him. I think this is beyond the remit of what we can deal with amongst ourselves.
Yeah, yes, of course. She takes you into one of the lobbies and gives you a telephone that you can use to call. So you could call the police at Mallaig. Further away, the police at Fort William. They'll take even longer to get here. Or there's the police at Portree and Skye, which is the largest, closest city town.
I say we phone the police at Portree. I don't think we should go anywhere near Mallaig.
Yeah, I think after last time, definitely not Malay. We could try Portree.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you make a phone call and ask the operator to put you through to the police station at Portree, which is where Dottie comes in, because the phone rings at your police station.
Hello.
Whichever one you used to making the phone call.
Alan, can you do it?
Okay. Hello, is that the Portree police station? We'd like to report an incident on the Isle of Rum. We were hoping there's been a violent intruder has come into his lordship's castle, and we haven't apprehended at the moment, but we were hoping that you'd be able to send some members of the constabulary to come and deal with him for us. We could really do with help as soon as you can possibly send them.
I'm sure we can send somebody over.
Thank you. If you can send them absolutely as soon as possible. We fear the man has been very violent, and we fear that he may continue to be so. So we would like to get him restrained by the proper authorities as soon as possible.
Right, send somebody right over.
Thank you.
So how far away am I from this place?
If you make good time, you could be there in 3 to 4 hours. You'd have to take a short drive and then a short boat journey.
Well, I guess I start making my way over. I'm assuming there's not a whole lot going on anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most police work you've done recently is check everyone's fishing license.
Yeah.
It is a town about 2,000 people. It can be quite busy with tourists. You get a lot of migrants heading off to Canada from here or through that port. But mostly it's like fishing and rural sort of issues. You're not going to be someone who's dealt with murders and gore and kidnappings and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, you would know all the locals very well. You would know how to get to places easily enough. It wouldn't pose any trouble for you. It would just be the matter of the actual time of travel. And it has been quite a mild, sunny day. I think at the moment it's sort of noon time. Because you went in the morning to the cave, didn't you?
Yeah, I think we waited until the first light, and then we went there at that time.
Okay.
So she'd actually have time to get over there.
Yeah.
In the daylight.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not even noon. It's probably 11 or 10 or something like that. So you'd probably get there in mid-afternoon. As long as the weather stays good.
Finley, do you want to go outside and have a chat?
I think we probably should discuss what we're going to do with this man, I suppose.
Yeah, I think so too. And, about others.
You hear sounds of a disagreement, slightly raised voices in the castle, and then the slamming of doors. Then Mrs. McCrimmon comes out to you. I don't know what's going into Mr. Hart. He's in a hell of a mood. I just asked, did he want some tea?
It's been a trying morning. Just let him rest up. He's been through a lot.
What about yourselves? Can I get you anything? I've been in the kitchen all morning.
Oh no, I think we're okay. We're just gonna have a wee walk around the grounds, clear our heads.
Of course, of course. Do you think Mr. Doyle needs something?
I think they're fine. I think he's fine.
So she meanders off back to the kitchen. So what do you two want to do? Given the few hours you've got until the police arrive.
Talk about some of the journals and things that we've received.
Yes, I think you're suspicious of Mrs. McCrimmon.
Yeah, I think, looking back on some of the journals that we received from earlier, the one about Michael Thomas, he operated, the cult operates chiefly by the coast, and their numbers are not, well, they're great, but are composed of rudimentary people. And and they're in the coast, the islands, and also the letter as well, where George says that he's his nephew, as in Michael Thomas, as in, why, how some people think as in their godson or godfather, So I think that's some sort of connection as well, that they were very strongly bonded. And then also for the fact of the cult operates by the coast, she seems to be, the person that's living, and all these other people are passing away, And then you have Isaac as well. Well, Robert Isaac is, he's not really saying what he is, even though he said his family grew up here. He's a bit under suspicion as well. So
I think that's fair. I mean, I think I would put. I'd be more inclined to trust Robert at this point because, I mean, at least we know that he's willing to fight this thing. He's not just. I mean, I think we can be reasonably sure that he's at least not our enemy. I think Mrs. McCrimmon is possibly an unknown quantity. I mean, I think I agree that we shouldn't necessarily give her the full details without knowing better whether or not we can trust her. So that's fair.
I think as well it'd be, to rule her out, it's either going into the kitchen, or, enter her room to see if there's any evidence. But I don't know how we're going to manage to do that. So
I mean, we could ask her if she was able to, prepare some food for ourselves and for Kian, and then, I think it would probably be a bit inappropriate if I was to try. Well, I think it would probably look less inappropriate if you were found out going into a lady's room than if I was. So I'm afraid I might need to defer to you if you wanted to have a look around inside.
yeah, I suppose that, and if you could keep guard outside.
I can certainly try to if you want to try and do that.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go and speak to her and say that we're hungry, and then, hopefully it takes her a bit of time to make the meals. So
Okay, so you find her in the kitchen, busying herself. She's making, even though nobody really said they wanted any, she's making like pots of tea, getting the saucers and cups out, putting out some biscuits on a tray. When you just come in.
You know, Miss McCrimmons, you know, it being, you know, this nice, I could go for a good, you know, bowl of soup. What do you think, Finley? Could you go for a good bowl of soup?
If you were able to provide us with some kind of refreshments after our rather difficult morning, I think it would be most appreciated. It's I think it's starting to set in that we've been on the go for a long time without having eaten anything, so it would be very kind if we could take you up on your earlier offer.
Yes, of course. I'd be more than happy to oblige.
That's very kind.
I'll fix something up for Mr. Doyle and Mr. Hart as well, just in case.
That would be most kind, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I enter the room. What do I see? Oh, Finley, our door's locked.
We wouldn't have been able to. We wouldn't have keys or anything at this stage, would we?
You think maybe is her room in the bottom floor? I take it.
Ground floor, yes.
Okay. Will we
Oh no,
check?
sorry, second floor. That's where all the bedrooms are.
Oh, okay.
Is there any chance of there being an adjacent room that would be open so that you might be able to get out onto the I don't know, what do you call it, a little
The
bit like
veranda,
along
yeah.
the veranda, yeah, and then see if the window might be
There's definitely adjacent rooms, yes. Those are also bedrooms, and they are empty.
Okay. Well, let's do that then.
So you climb out the window of one of the adjacent bedrooms onto the veranda, and her bedroom window is also being locked with a latch from the inside. Which is a little suspicious given that she said before she never locked the doors on the island because there was no need to.
She's locked her window door, her window and her door, and she said that the front door was never locked. That's a bit suspicious, eh?
Not sure how we'd be able to get into it without raising her suspicions is the only thing.
At
Are
this
you able
point,
to...
you see her leaving the kitchen entrance with a tray with a pot of tea, cups, saucers, biscuits on it, whatnot, and she's taking the tray down to the Mr. Hart's cottage.
Okay, let's just crouch down.
Yeah, she's got her back to you. She's not looking up. She's not going to notice you.
Well, do we want to go into the kitchen and see if the key's in the kitchen?
We could try it, although I'm not sure if we'd be able to recognise which key it is. We could have a look anyway.
Yeah, and we could just look around the kitchen because that's her sort of area as well.
Sure.
So
Sure.
Mildred, do you want to roll 2 dice? Finley, do you want to roll 1 dice? Or actually, you just roll 2 dice as well, Finley. Just do 2 separate rolls. Right, so 5, 4 is the same anyway. So you don't find her keys. She's not just left them lying out. But there are, like, bread knives, butter knives, like little scraper chisels. But there's lots of tools you could use to jimmy a lock or snap a lock if you really wanted to. Or maybe force the window open and break the latch.
I think probably the window might be the better bet if we wanted to try and force our way in. It might be a little less obvious.
yeah, I think that might be the case.
Dottie, you're able to make your way, you know, presumably being the police, you actually have a motor vehicle on the
Yeah.
island. So you're able to take the road down to the southern port village. I can't remember its name now. And from there, commandeer a boat that can take you across the water. Of course, you'll know the fishermen very well. You've grown. Have you lived there your whole life, or have you just moved there?
We'll say she's been there her whole life. Born and raised.
So, what's the name of the fisherman that you approach to sail you across?
Billy.
Billy. Yeah, old William.
Yeah.
He knew your father and everything. He's more than happy to oblige. But when you tell him it's a rum island you're going to, you know, he raises an eyebrow. He's like, "Really? I didn't
Right.
think anyone was allowed to go there anymore."
Oh, why is nobody? Does nobody go up there?
Well, when the Laird took it over, you know, it's his private gaming estate. He doesn't let people just go there anymore. Not unless they're going there for work.
Well, police business, I'm sure.
Alright, well,
Comes with some privileges.
yeah, well, right you are. You can see the wind starting to pick up. It's getting a lot more overcast looking. She's like, well, we'll need to hurry up then before the weather kicks in. And of course, being someone that's lived here your life, you know that the weather can change on a dime.
Right?
And you set off across the water.
Right?
So then you two have taken this knife or whatever up and gone onto the veranda to try and break open the window. You see Mrs. McCrone, well, you saw her go into the cottage that Keen's in. She hasn't came out yet. So do one of you want to take watch while the other one tries to break it?
Well, I take watch, but do you like to have a go at the window?
Yeah, sure. I'll have a go. D6.
For you it will be 1 dice, yes.
I failed epically.
Oof.
I re-roll again.
No, you don't get to roll again. The window pops open with such force that it cracks, making a very loud thunking noise and a sort of glass crackle. So the glass kind of splints as it hits upwards. It's going to be very obvious to anyone that this was opened, and you freeze up for a second hoping no one heard it.
Oh, I don't know if we can go in here now.
And finally, there's still no sign of her coming out of the cottage.
What do you suggest? Do you think I should still go in, or?
Is the would the fact that the window is open be obvious from a distance?
Yes, if she's come back, she'll be able to see it's open.
Right. I think we should probably make ourselves scarce as soon as we can.
Yeah, I think that's the best.
You hop into a room, it's very neatly kept. There's not a lot of furniture. There's a small cupboard of clothes.
Oh, we're not in the.
But you can
We're
see
going-
into the room, can't you?
Oh, right, okay. Can I roll spot hidden?
Yeah. 2 dice for you. Yeah, so rummaging around, you don't really find anything obvious or incriminating until you look under her bed, and then you find a little box. And when you open this box, it's full of it's kind of like poems or prayers that the Reverend Michael Thomas has written as like a gift to Jane McCrimmon. There's a photograph of the two of them in the castle.
Okay. I'm just gonna take the box and go.
I think it might be better to leave the box itself, but maybe take some of the contents.
Okay, I'll take some of the contents and leave.
You come back out, and Finlay, no one has came out of that cottage yet. Although the rear of the cottage is obscured by bushes and trees in the garden, but no one's came out the front door. And since you've been in there, you know there isn't a back door.
Okay, so do we just get out of the veranda? Yeah.
Yes, you can just go back on the veranda.
Okay. So, how do we get out from another room, don't we? So, is that not the case? Yeah.
Do you want to leave this window open, or do you want to close it?
Just close it.
You close it, and the piece of glass that splintered, drops out. Doesn't shatter or make a lot of noise, but there's a hole in the window as well as a big crack.
Oh goodness. How are we going to explain this?
I think we could try and pass it off as something that happened during the night, but it would maybe depend on whether or not. Yeah, I mean, I guess if Mrs. McCrim's heard the noise, that could be an issue. Could suggest that there's maybe still somebody else lurking around.
Yeah, I think we should do that. We should suggest that there's someone lurking around. I think we should say that.
So you
That
go.
we heard,
There you go. So
that
you
we heard a crash.
yes. So you
Sorry.
go onto the veranda, back into the other room, close that window, come out of the bedroom into the corridor, and Robert is standing in the corridor with his shotgun in his hand.
Hello, Robert.
What are you doing? I heard a noise.
We went to check out the noise. We heard it. There was a noise on the veranda, so we were checking it out.
Has he gotten loose? I knew we should have shot him.
I don't know. What do you think, Finlay?
Cian should be with him, but we saw Mrs. McCrim going into the cottage with them earlier, and no one seems to have come out again. We're a bit concerned.
Perhaps we should search the grounds in case.
It might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'll take the servants' entrance and go around the east side if you two want to go in the other way. Finlay, do you have your gun?
I think if I didn't have it on me, I would have kept it nearby, so I'd be able to get it fairly quickly.
Yeah, pick up from the front hall or something. Okay.
I have my gun too, just to see.
Yeah, you pick up yours at the same time. Okay, so he goes off hunting around the grounds. How long do you want to pretend you're looking for someone in the grounds?
I think to make it more realistic, probably a good like half hour or something, you know?
Yeah, I was thinking about half an hour as well. That sounds good.
I mean, do you just want to just like keep him busy until the police arrive, basically?
Yeah, that's probably a
Okay.
good idea too.
Mrs. McCrown doesn't show up again in that time. You just go back to the kitchen and she's not there. The other tray with tea and biscuits and stuff is laid out. The soup is boiling on the stove and it's boiling over because it's been left too long.
I think we should check the cottage. This is getting quite alarming.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yes, we should be gone for like an hour at this point. He's go down to the cottage. The door is wide open in the cottage. Are you taking Robert with you or leaving him to watch the castle?
What do you think?
I think maybe I don't know if I'm 100% trusting of Robert, but I'm like, what do you think? Do you think we should take Robert?
Well, I think we know that he's not immediately hostile. He seems hostile towards the whatever it is that's attacked people, so I mean I think we can trust him to that extent.
And we can trust him for the fact of Mrs. McCrimmon as well, because he was quite short with her as well, so...
Yeah, I mean he's not part of that. He's just like kind of an outsider to them, so I think we could probably take him with us, just safety in numbers.
Yeah, that
Okay,
sounds
so the
fine.
three of you approach the cottage. The door is open. What do you want to do?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I'm gonna just put my gun sort of, at the door of the cottage, to kind
Yes.
of...
Make everyone else nervous because you've never fired a gun before in your life. Okay. It will be you, Finley.
I think I'd like to call out to see if anyone's there. All right, I'll just shout, say, hello, Mrs. McCrimmon, are you all right? Is everything okay in there? We were starting to get concerned.
There's no reply.
This is where Schiann is with the suspect, or should have been.
Yes.
Oh boy.
I know, I was just thinking that myself.
Do you want to approach the cottage?
Well, I think we're gonna have to.
So he's cautiously approached, guns at the ready. He's peering inside the front door. You can see furniture's been knocked over, blood all over the floor. Mrs. McCrinnon is laying splaying on the floor. Her neck broken and her lower jaw ripped off.
Oh my goodness.
There's no
Mrs.
sign of
God almighty.
there's no sign of Schiann. There's no sign of the man. You can see the ropes and the string that were holding him have been untied and left on the floor.
Oh my goodness. When we see is she, I know that her jaw's been, but is she breathing or anything?
No, she's dead.
Oh, right, okay.
I take it we didn't
Oh.
see anything when we were pretending to search the grounds?
No. Although, I mean, you're going around the building as such, so you wouldn't have
the
been
spot
looking straight at.
hidden thing to see if there's anything?
Sure. No. Apart from the signs of a struggle and the blood, you don't see anything else.
Is there any sign of the blood leading in I mean, is there like a trail or anything? There's no sign of anything.
Why don't you give me a 2-dice roll?
Sure. 2 seconds, my Google window is going a bit funny.
No, you cannot either find a trail. Dottie, so as you approach the Isle of Rum from the east side, which will take you into Loch Scresort, which is where the jetty is and where the castle sits.
Mhm.
As you come in to your south, you can see the castle and the shore. And you can see a spattering of cottages known as bothies spattered around. They would normally be where you'd expect the staff or the villagers to be staying. It's getting later into the afternoon. It's very overcast now. The clouds quite grey. The wind's picked up. There's a spattering of rain. The waves are getting kind of choppy. And Bill's a little, nervous about staying here too long. In case, you get stuck here overnight, and he doesn't fancy that at all. And as you make dock on the little wooden jetty, you can see 3 figures, and they're all armed, which is immediately kind of alarming to you.
Oh my.
And Finley and Mildred and Robert, Having done your investigation, you looked around for about an hour or so. Without wanting to go too far until the police arrive, you see the small fisherman boat arriving. And to your surprise, the police person is a woman.
Finley's mic's gone wonky.
Only one police officer? I was expecting 3 or 4. This is not good.
Has Dottie disembarked? Is she, like close enough to speak to us, or?
Yeah, you, Dottie, you're going to like pull up in the jetty, and Bill will tie up the boat and allow you to get off and step onto the island.
Right. Who was it that phoned?
Yes, we spoke on the phone, Miss. Are you alone? We were hoping that you would be able to bring like a number of officers with you.
Oh, well, we don't have much need for coppers up here. This is about the most excitement we've had in months.
I see. It's a terrible business. The man that we had in our custody has gotten loose again, and we're afraid that he's rather violently killed the housekeeper from the estate. We don't know where he's gone either, and we believe that he's capable of considerable violence. You'd be well advised to stay with us. And, if we all keep together, I think it's for the best.
So is he loose on the island now?
Yes, we've not been able to find him at all. We've been looking for him for the last hour, but we've not seen where he's gone.
Well, that's not good, is it?
Things just keep getting worse, it seems.
And these fellows here, with the guns, are they with you?
Yes, it's okay. We're carrying these things for protection as much as anything. Don't worry. We're not. We mean you no harm.
Well then, should we split up and have a look around and see if we can find this fellow?
And I think splitting up is not the best solution. I think sticking together, from what we've seen, people who split up tend to not be here anymore.
He's a very violent man, Miss. We're better to stay together for our own safety, I think.
Well, sounds like you've had an eventful time.
It's been a terrible business.
Most definite.
The
Well, let's have a look.
the clouds are deeply darkening now when the rain starts to get heavier. So, I mean, as the police officer, Dottie, it's your investigation to drive.
Sorry, say that again?
So, as you're the police officer, it's your investigation to drive. You ask them whatever you want, have them take you wherever. You are the person of authority here.
Well, let's have a look at the crime scene.
So, which of the crime scenes do you want to take her to?
I think
Probably the cottage first.
if you don't mind me saying, officer, you'd be well advised to carry a weapon for your own protection if you don't have anything with you. There are rifles in the gun room if you want to bring one of them with you. He's a very violent man, and we're concerned about what he might be capable of doing.
I'm gonna say she would have just shown up without a weapon. She probably doesn't really carry a weapon.
No, police in Scotland would not be carrying anything more than
Yeah,
a truncheon, usually.
but growing up rural, she'll know her way around a rifle.
Yes, rifle, shotgun, definitely.
So yeah, I'll pick up a rifle.
Stepping
Can you?
into the castle for the first time, Dottie, it is ostentatious. It is full of pieces and art from all over the world. All different cultures are represented here, and much of it has just been kind of put around and loosely grouped together by what someone obviously thinks kind of goes together. The castle is very large, and it will especially seem like a waste because rarely is anyone even on the island. And you might be struck by an uncomfortable sort of sensation as you enter the building. We are led along one of the corridors on the west side, up to the gun room, which is full of hunting gear for hunting parties. There's shotguns, there's rifles, there's ammunition. They're inside gun cabinets, and obviously one of the gun cabinets has been opened already. So,
Is there any sign of it having been disturbed since we were here last?
no. Not obviously, anyway.
Do we
grab a
want to
rifle.
maybe sit down and have a conversation before, entering out, especially when the weather's not so great? And also, would Dottie not want to call up for backup as well?
The other man that's standing with these two, sort of mid-30s, dark hair. Like he's growing impatient. Why are we standing about here? We have our weapons, let's go hunt this bastard. So, Dottie, you're in charge.
So, who is this fella?
You're asking them or you're asking him?
I'm asking them.
We think he might be a cult leader.
You're standing with him. He's gonna be like, I'm not. Why would you say something like that?
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the crazy guy, as we think is a cult leader.
Oh, yes.
The suspect.
Oh, yes, of course. Kind of, looks as if he's maybe said something he shouldn't have said. Especially to you, Dottie, having been experienced with dealing with people who are liars.
And what's your name and purpose here, sir?
My name's Robert Hart. I was born here on Rum.
you're familiar with the suspect?
In a way of speaking, yes. I believe he killed my parents, who were residents here. I returned to bring him to justice.
So he's been quite busy.
He looks at the other two and says, "You haven't told her about the bodies, have you?"
We were getting to that point.
Bodies? How many people has this guy killed?
We believe 4 at this point. The housekeeper, 2 staff, and also a local man who lived on the island.
And at least a dozen more. Their bodies in the mausoleum on the island's south side.
And our friend is missing as well.
And it only just occurred to you to ring the police?
Well, we only just apprehended this individual. If you can call him that, he's little more than an animal.
I'm definitely going to need help.
Yeah, there's a phone. Yes, we would all like if there was more police officers here.
So
It
you,
would be.
so you take a trip around to the lobby where you left the telephone, and the telephone's sitting on the desk where you left it.
So I'll ring my station and hopefully get a captain or somebody
You
important.
pick up the handset for the phone, and there's no dialing tone.
I am so shocked. Well, balls. Right, we're gonna have to do something on our own here because the phone is out.
I suggest that you ask what our occupations, everything like that are. A bit more detail about us.
You're going to tell her that she should ask you what your job is?
I'm just saying
Who
that.
talks like that?
Is that not what people do though? And then if like identification and stuff,
Well, why would...
Should we not leave the fine details until after we deal with the violent murderer?
I was just thinking that was a bit more important.
Okay.
But by all means, if you want to tell me what you do.
I'm a archaeologist. I work for the Edinburgh University as a professor.
She just had to tell somebody that.
Yeah.
Yes.
My character just rolls her eyes, kind of.
Do you have a sheet for Dottie?
I don't yet.
Right, okay.
Robert, do you have any identification to show your Robert Hart so that we can all show our identification? Have you got identification?
I left in my cottage. I'll be right back. I actually got his name wrong because
Dottie
it wasn't Hart,
definitely
but yeah.
notices that.
Yeah, so he leaves and goes back down to the cottage. What would you just want to do?
Should we not follow him to the cottage?
You did say it wasn't safe to split up.
Yeah, I think we should follow him.
You step outside just as the car, one of the two cars, starts up with Robert at the wheel, and he drives off.
His cottage isn't that far away. Can you drive? I think
I
we
can-
should
I
follow him.
I can drive as if you want to follow after him.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so you two, followed by the policewomen, go around back to the service entrance where the other car was left. And hop in. It's one of these cars that's made as like for driving hunting parties around, so it can fit like quite a few people in it. And you start off and follow him. Finley, you can drive, can't you?
Yeah, I have the driving skill.
Give me a dice roll.
Just one or two.
I think just the one. Actually, no, yeah, give me two, because you've got the skill. I was thinking.
Should I just roll another single one?
Yes, just roll a single.
Okay, sure.
The road is bumpy, the rain is really coming down now. The sky is getting really dark. And you follow him, and he takes the road into the centre of the island and then down to the south. I'm just going to put a map round up so that Dottie can see the kind of layout.
So this is not where his cottage is, I take it.
No, his cottage was down there in the beach, just down from the castle. He has gone away off into the road, into the island's interior. And then as you follow him, he then takes the turn south to Harris.
This can't be good.
Harris is just a little cottage, which is the hunting lodge, and then the mausoleum, which kind of sits out on its own. Alright, wait for it to come back.
Poor Mrs. McCrimmon, eh? She wasn't really massively part of it.
It's a terrible way to go.
Okay, yeah, so you
Definitely.
approach Harris, which is this single building, which is the hunting lodge, and the mausoleum, which kind of sits out on its own here on the coast. Immediately to the north is a large hill, which you have been on previously. As you, the car in front of you is pulled up ahead, and you can see him storming into the hunting lodge with his gun held up. So what do you want to do as you pull up?
I think the best thing is probably to go into the hunting lodge, isn't it? Because that's where he's going.
Can we see into the hunting lodge from outside, or is it just in dark?
Why don't you give me 2 dice roll? In fact, why don't you all... Are you going to be intelligent, Dottie?
Yes.
Yes.
And you'll have spot hidden. So, Dottie, why don't you give me 2 dice as well? You all notice the man dragging someone up the hill, in addition to the man who stormed into the hunting lodge. But Mildred, because you've got slightly better view or whatever, you recognise immediately that it is the burnt man, and he is dragging Schiann up the hill. He has him gripped like under the armpits, and he's like pulling him up.
Oh my goodness, Schiann is getting dragged by the crazy man up the hill, the burnt man. We need to do something, Finley. We need to go.
Of course, we need to go and help Ian.
So you two run off up the hill after him. Dottie, you're standing there. You know, what's going on?
Is that the murderer?
We believe it's him, yes.
We should go after him, shouldn't we?
So you all run up
Yeah.
the hill. Are you shouting, shooting your guns off? What?
Yeah, we're shouting and shooting our we're trying to not shoot like our tons of the bullets, but we're shooting.
Maybe like fire a warning shot to try and
Okay,
get their attention.
So you fire a gun off as well as shout and yell at. This only seems to make the burnt man move faster with more haste. He pulls Keen's body up over his shoulder and starts to haul him up as quickly as possible. As you all kind of run up the hill, you feel the weight of your legs and your arms and your shoulders increase. You require more effort, not just to move, but to breathe. It feels as if the weight of the world is pulling you down if your body's made of lead.
Do we have the water?
The holy water from before? Yes, you would still have.
Yeah.
Robert also emerges after getting a gunshot from the hunting lodge, and he starts running up the hill as well. It is positively dark above now. It's not nighttime, it's not even near sunset, but the clouds are so black above and blocking out the sun, is making everything a sort of twilight.
Can we see if Schiann is like in one piece? I mean, does he look like he's been already killed, or is he? I mean, he's not like
I think
obviously had his neck broken.
He's not like obviously broken or snapped or dead. He's clearly unconscious. Before you are able to get halfway up the hill, the burnt man has dragged him over the top of it.
Can we
And
do a
outside.
spot? Can we do a spot hidden to see if there's anywhere that we can like hide and try to, attack him that way, as in just
It's a
come out?
barren hilltop. There's no cover. There's no rocks. There's just heath, which comes up to like your ankle, your shin.
Okay.
It's very exposed. It's very windy as you get near the top. So we just went to.
Does it look like Robert is coming to attack us, or is he just coming up the hill?
It looks like he's running up the hill for the same sort of reason as you are. He's coming at a slightly different angle and he's a little behind you.
Is the guy with the the burnt guy, is he near the circle?
Yeah, he gets up over the top of the hill and like disappears out of your line of sight. So he is going to definitely be within the circle at the top. Dottie, of course, has no knowledge of anything up there, unless someone tells her.
Dottie, there's a circle with astrological circle, with 3 spaces, and it has some words on it. We think it might be symbolic for these cultists.
Okay.
Are you just thinking they're all crazy at this point, Dottie?
Yeah, she's sure they're all just a bit loony.
I mean, what's your inclination then to go along with these gun-wielding nut jobs?
Well, if that many people have been murdered, then it makes sense.
Do you think we should put a little bit of the holy water on the bullet and see if we can shoot it like that? Or
Might be a possibility. I was thinking as well, if you've got the rubbing from the stone, I mean, would we be able to try and like read the incantation from it?
yeah, that might be actually a good idea. Do you think we should just like run back and get the stone? Oh, I would have that in my bag, wouldn't I? The
The-
letter.
You have the rubbing,
rubbing.
which is just a lot of cuneiform. So unless you can read cuneiform, you don't know what it says or how to pronounce
Can
it.
can I see if I can? Because I've got cryptography. Can I see if I
Yeah,
can
but
read
it's
it?
not an encrypted language. It's like an actual language. You don't know cuneiform. That's why you took it to the other guy to have it translated.
Could I see if Dottie might know?
I mean, you can ask her.
Uh,
Do you know ancient Sumerian, Dottie?
Imagine the coincidence that would be if you did.
That would be like.
Well, there's not a lot to do on Sky, so I do read a lot of books.
Maybe throwing that bit of paper into the circle or something. Or maybe even the stone might actually help us if we take the stone.
I mean, we could go back to try and get it, but I imagine by the time we got back there and came back to the, where we are now, it might be too late.
Yeah.
Huffing
it
and
is.
puffing, Robert makes his way past you as the three of you converse on the hillside.
I think we should probably try and follow Robert, I guess.
Yeah, that's probably best.
Few meters ahead of you, Robert crests a hill, and immediately the burnt man leaps upon him, pins him to the ground, screaming, "It feeds! It feeds!"
Okay, I think I'm not a good shot, but someone should shoot him. Try, a wee tiny bit of holy water on the bullet.
How close are we to the guy and to Robert at this point?
3-4 meters away at most.
Okay, I could try and shoot it, I guess. I mean, would it be reasonable to assume that I could shoot the guy without hitting Robert, or is there a fair chance that I would hit Robert in the attempt?
Oh, I mean, given the angle and your sort of inexperienced stuff, there's a fair chance you'd hit him, yeah. But that's up to your dice.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have a military background that gives me like +1 for
You
attack.
Didn't pick it as a skill though. Oh, no, sorry, you
Oh, I
did.
see.
You take multi-training. Okay. Yeah, so 2 dice and then add 1 to. So 1 dice, add 1 to the result.
Okay, right. Well, I'll try shoving some of the water onto the. I don't know. I mean, I guess would I just like tip it down the barrel of the gun first, or I don't
Yeah,
know, like pour it into
pouring water down the barrel of the gun usually works pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see that going wrong. Yeah, I mean, I guess if I've not like actually chambered a bullet, I could like pour some on a bullet and then put that into it. So
Yeah.
It might be a little more sensible, yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Okay, right, I'll
hastily,
try-
you start to do this. Dottie, you're wondering, why is he pouring water on the
what
door?
the fuck is going on?
But you have seen a man jump on top of another man, he's screaming, and you can see him like tearing into him like an animal with his teeth and his nails. So what would you like to do, Dottie?
Can I separate them?
You want to run up and intervene?
Yeah, try.
Okay, so you're going to shoulder the rifle or just drop it?
I'll shoulder it.
Alright, so this is a point where if you wanted to take like grapple or like close combat as a skill, this is where you would say that you have that as a skill.
Yeah, I really should have done a sheet.
But I mean, you're giving a police officer, you might have training in this anyway, so having it as a skill might make sense as an occupation skill.
Well, just general hand-to-hand.
Yep, that's fine. And are you strong?
No.
So you're not strong. Are you weak? Or are you just average?
Average.
Okay, so
Maybe
you're going
she's
to run up and roll 1 dice for me. As well as you rolling 1 dice, Finley.
Oh wait, do I need to roll a second one to add to that?
So the 4 becomes a 5, which is going to be the same result. Could you roll a d3 for me, please, Finley?
Is there one on the?
Or just roll a d6. Oh, I can
Okay.
split it as a d3. Oh, that's very fortunate, yes. So, Dottie, you run up and try to intervene. And just seconds, moments before you get to the two of them, a crack of a gunshot goes out, and the figure who is on top of the man, this figure whose skin is burnt and blistering and pussy, he's mutilated, he's covered in cuts and wounds, bleeding from every orifice. He is shot in the throat, and he clutches his throat and gurgles and falls back, bleeding profusely. The other man he was on top of looks like he's been absolutely savaged. His face, his eyes have been clawed at, his cheek has been bitten into and torn out a bit.
Ouch.
And there is a third man, unconscious, sprawled out in the middle of this very flat, barren hilltop, roughly circular in shape. There's a series of small stones laid out, 8 of them, in a circular fashion. And it looks as if the ground has been scorched or burnt in some sort of pattern.
Can me and Finley try and get the if Dottie can get the what's called Robert, if me and Finley can get Schiann.
So you want to run and get Keen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we would try and move him out
Okay.
of the circle. Yeah.
They run in to get Keen. Dottie, do you run for the unattended unconscious man? The man who's been savaged or the man who's been shot?
I'll go for the unconscious guy.
So all 3 of you run into the circle.
I'd rather not mess with the gross guy.
The 3 of you run into the circle. There's a swirling blackness immediately above it that isn't visible until you've stepped inside the circle itself. Inside the circle it's silent, there's no wind, there's no rain. Your eyes go dark and you're standing in the middle of a vast ashen desert, scattered with strange crystals which sing and vibrate and hum. A dim red star lights the horizon distantly, and you feel cold and empty. The blackness that was above you in the circle is above you now on this strange landscape. And you can feel it pulsating, almost as if it's breathing above you. It oozes an aura of pure malevolence. Can each of you roll with your fitness? Sorry, not fitness, intelligence. Which I think for everybody is 2 dice, using the best. But Mildred, you take a stress. Finlay, you take a stress. And Dottie, you take a stress.
I think I'll take freeze up and terror for a moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same.
Which later is that one?
I think that's A.
That's A. Yeah.
You want to take that as well, Dottie? Just for simplicity.
Yeah.
You all freeze, unsure of what's happening, unsure of where you are. And you can feel the thing above you start to descend hungrily into this middle of the circle, into this landscape with you. You blink, your eyes hurt. You're still here in the circle, you're all on your knees surrounding Keen's body. The black above you has descended in a sort of cone spiral down between you all, reaching into Keen, or just about to reach into him. You know instantly that this thing is going to feast on him, devour his mind, and leave him an empty shell. What do you do?
Is it possible to try and like break the circle? I mean, can we like rub part of it away or anything?
You want to just get your hands and knees and just start rubbing it out as best you can?
Yeah, try and
Yeah.
like disfigure it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the rest you want to do?
Can we? I'd like to put some holy water on it.
You're going to start sprinkling holy water, okay? What do
Yeah.
you want to do, Dottie?
Run away.
You want to just run, okay.
Oh, you're running, Shy? Mm-hmm.
So you are... what is your fitness? Are you fit? Are you average? Or are you unfit?
Just average.
Okay, so you roll me 1 dice, please. Finlay, you also want to roll me with your fitness?
Sure. I think do I have athletic? I think I like have something like that.
You are athletic, so it's 2 dice. And Mildred, can you roll me 2 dice for your intelligence again? Mildred, you take a stress. Dottie, you get up to run, and immediately a gust of wind knocks you backwards on your back, and the wind is taken out of you. Take a pain. Lying on the ground looking up, you can see the blackness above you, and you feel at the same time as if it's one huge eye and a million insect eyes staring down at you hungrily and almost mockingly.
I'll take H, lose your footing.
Can I use luck to make this like a
Oh,
full
sorry,
pact?
yeah, Dottie, you can spend... You don't have any luck yet, so do you want to roll 2 dice for me? Quick.
I have 5 luck, just to say.
Okay, so you got 4 luck, Dottie. If you want, Dottie, you could spend 2 luck to change that. Well, to get rid of that pain.
No, I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll hang on to my luck.
Finlay, you scrabble about and rub out the scorch marks in the ground as best as you can, completely disrupting their pattern. It does not seem to affect the thing reaching down, which has now reached Keen's chest and is starting to splay and spread out like long tendrils across his body. Mildred, your water splashes on the ground and doesn't seem to have any effect.
Can we start moving the stones?
And reach out and kick the stones? Yes. You
Yeah.
want to roll me... What's your fitness like? 1 dice for you. You kick out the stone and the gust of wind, which is now circling the circle like a cyclone, picks up the stone that you've kicked out, throws it back and hits you in the head. Take a pain. The creature, which is lying with its throat shot, reaches out towards you all and gasps out 2 words, barely audible. No light. No light.
Flashlight. 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 Finley flashlight.
Do I still have the flashlight already? I guess.
You still have it,
still
yes.
have it.
Okay, I'll try it. You know, any port in the storm.
So you pull out the flashlight and do what?
I'll try and shine it at the thing that's attacking Ian.
You shine it at the black tendrils reaching down, and immediately they recoil upwards silently and away from his body. Keen turns to the side and coughs a little bit. On the edges of the circle, this darkness starts to reach down as if it's like cupping around you.
I'll try shining the light and like at anywhere that's getting really close to us.
Each time you shine it on the blackness, it recoils away back upwards.
It seems like this will hold it for now, but this is only going to work for so long. I think we need to try and find a better way to deal with it.
We need to grab Schiann and have what's called Dottie. Me and you'll grab Schiann and what's called Finley. If you just keep shining it.
Okay, I'll try and keep it off you while you shift Ian.
Okay, so if Dottie and Mildred roll 1 dice each for me. He's able to pick up Schiann and start to drag him out of the circle. As Finley, where are you shining the light? Are you just waiting for it to reach down and then shine at it, or are you going to shine straight up at it?
I think I would wait for. I mean, if it's like coming from them directly, I would probably try and shine it at anywhere it's like
To ward it
coming to
off,
attack them.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
As you drag him out, you can see the thing that was bleeding on the ground let out its last words, its last breath, and it dies on the ground before you as you leave the circle. The wind is intense, it's like a hurricane spinning around, leaves and bits of bracken flying in your eyes, scratching your skin. Robert is like turned onto his belly and is like pulling himself down off the hill. You don't audibly hear anything, but there's a long, piercing, sharp sensation through your mind as something is like crying out in frustration behind you. Can you all roll intelligence? And then Dottie, what's your fitness? You said average fitness, didn't you?
Yeah.
Could you roll 1 dice for me? You can feel something, Dottie. It's as if it's like a long black hand reaching around your brain, your mind, your ego. But you're able to like push it back, push it off, shrug it away. as you pull the man out of the circle and then down the hill. You just get down, you move onto the hill, it's still that heavy, leaden feeling in your bones. But the unpresent mind, the darkness that was pressing down on you, that was like needling at your senses, is gone. Between the two of you, Mildred and Dottie, you can feel Keen moving, and his eyes open, and he turns and looks you in the face, Dottie, and his eyes are pure black.
That's not right.
And he says, "It feeds," and his arm, which is around you because you're pulling him, tightens around your neck.
Can I throw the water on him?
You can splash water on him if you want.
Yeah, on his eyes.
He turns around and then looks straight into your eyes, Mildred, and all you see is blackness. And he squeezes his other arm around your neck, as if he's trying to get both of you in a headlock. What do you or Finlay want to do?
I'd like to try and smack him with the butt of the gun if I still have it at this point.
Are you strong?
No, I have weakest tag.
Oh, okay, so 2 dice, then it's weak spot.
Okay.
Yeah, you smack him with the butt of the gun, he lets go of both women, turns around right at you and he shouts, "It feeds!" and he leaps onto you, pins you to the ground. Yeah, the flashlight rolls out of your hand.
I grabbed the flashlight and put it at his face because they don't like the light.
It doesn't seem to have any effect on him.
Dottie, you've got more strength than I have. Do you want to whack him with the gun?
Do I still have my the rifle? If so,
No,
I'll,
no, but you could pick up the one you dropped.
yeah, I'll grab it and try to whack him with it.
Average strength, so 1 dice for you. As you're about to smack him with the butt of the gun, a gust of that wind hits you and sends you spinning. You lose your footing on the ground and fall on the floor. Once again, you feel as if an eye, both 1 in a million, staring down at you from the black circle above the hill.
Can I try and hit him?
You can just punching him, or with the butt of the gun.
With the gun?
Sure, 1 dice.
Can I use my luck as well?
You can use luck to bump it up after you've rolled it, yeah. Oh, you didn't need
I
to.
don't think I'm, yeah.
Nice.
Mildred somehow manages to smack him square in the face and knock him out cold. Keen is taking 2 hits to the head.
No, unfortunately.
Yes, he's knocked out cold.
Okay, let's get him out of here, like, quickly.
Yeah, I think we should try and... we can't just leave him here.
Yeah, I'm good. Is Dottie still on the ground?
To her after she fell down.
No, I'll have got up and dusted myself off.
Okay, we'll grab Cian. Can you still keep that light on the hill, just to make sure? As in when we're
Sure.
walking down, so that we're safe passage and all.
Sure, I'll try and get... Do I need to do anything to get the flashlight back? or can I
You-
just pick it up?
Yeah, roll with your fitness. That's 2 dice. Pick the best for you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. The wind is almost as if it's been manipulated to try and keep the light out of your reach. But being the fit man that you are, you're able to, like, persevere against it and hold your ground. And you grab a hold of the flashlight. Where do you aim it?
I think I'll try shining it straight up at the source of the thing this time.
And almost instantly, as soon as you do that, the thing dissipates into midair, thin air. The wind dies down to kind of normal kind of weather. The
What
sky,
time is it now?
the darkness above seems to recede, and more natural light comes through the clouds. You can see the sun is beginning to set. Keen coughs and spits up some blood. He holds his head, oh, like that.
Can we look at his eyes to see if they're still black?
He opens his eyelids and his eyes look normal. Now you need to go, Alan, don't you?
Well, yeah. If it's, is this a good time to leave it? For now, or?
That's it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Nothing-
Sorry about having
yep.
to run off at the.
Nothing else happens. You get him down to the car. Robert goes with you. You just go back to the castle. You just wait
Did we
out.
see this thing on the sky gone be gone die? Or
Sorry.
That wasn't me.
Okay. Was that you, Schiann?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
I don't know how to erase it.
I'll leave it there as a warning to others.
well, that was quite a good session.
You just get back and everything is like normal after that. Robert is reluctant to talk about the events.
Do you think we should then just get the boat
Get the hell off the
and
island.
get out off the island? That's what I'm thinking.
That's probably the best we can do in the circumstances. Yeah.
I don't think we should stay on the island.
Oh, so you don't want to
Later.
wait the night till the next morning? You want to just sail out at night?
Well, maybe we should wait
No.
for light. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like inside the castle with all the lights on.
Sure.
Yeah.
So your skipper for your boat, as well as Billy, that brought
Yeah.
Dottie there. Yous all hole up together in the castle for the night, but apart from the rain and the wind, there's nothing unusual. When the morning comes, you're able to get on your boats and able to set out. Presumably, you're taking to Portree for statements or something.
Yes, yeah. We'll go and
Yeah, that
get
seems.
all of this on paper.
Okay, Alan, you can go now if you need to.
Cool, thanks. But yeah, sorry about having to run off at the I don't know, least appropriate moment or what. But yeah, no, that was good though. I enjoyed that one.
For an hour and a half, it was quite a good. You know, it didn't feel like an hour and a half, which is good.
Is there anything, Dottie, because obviously you're going to go back to your station, and are you going to like report everything that happened, or like what?
Yeah, she'll just report everything that happened and not care if people believe her or not. But she'll know that people aren't going to believe parts of it.
Yeah, so the police will come and investigate. They'll find the bodies in the mausoleum. They'll find the body up on the hilltop. And it'll be written off that he was like some sort of insane killer. And he'd murdered a bunch of people on the island over the last few years. Someone must have been collaborating, they would assume, in order to hide him for that length of time. But the lairdship, only visits the island very occasionally. He's not going to be held directly responsible for this. His groundskeeper and housekeeper and all that were supposed to be the ones in charge of these things. And since they're all dead, no blame is appointed to anyone in particular apart from the dead man. Right.
Cool.
How
Well,
very shocking.
if that's a good point, I'd probably better head off in that case.
Yeah, that's fine, mate.
Cool.
I just wanted to get
yeah.
Dottie introduced, really.
Sure. Yeah, no, again, sorry if I've been screwing you about with this, but yeah, I'll try and make better time for it next time around.
No worries.
Yeah, cool. I'll catch you later in that case. See you.
For the rest of your week.
Cheers. See you again. See you.
Bye.